All right. First, put the memoir topic from question 10, what you decided your memoir is about, in the top. So scroll down on your outline to the orange section. The memoir topic goes right there. So now let me explain this. This is going to seem a little weird, but this is the best way. It's the way it works. There are many ways to outline a memoir. We recommend the simplest way possible, which is to brainstorm the stories, events, or time periods you want in the book, right? That's going to be the next section down there. Then you put them in the order you want them in the book, which is the kind of the table of contents, but not really. This is very simple. Like just decide, what do I want to talk about in the book? Put them in order. That's it. It's really dead simple. But do not mistake simple for easy. This process requires you to really understand what you want your memoir to be about, right? And also guarantees that your memoir will change as you begin writing, which is probably going to happen anyway, right? So like you're going to feel, the slide says, what if you feel like your outline isn't complete? Let me just skip that. You're going to feel like your outline isn't complete. You're going to feel like it's not done before you start writing. That's okay. In fact, I can promise your outline's not going to be perfect. In fact, I would tell you, if you wait till you have a perfect outline to start writing, you're doing it wrong. You are going to discover most of your book as you write it. This is how it works, okay? So the point of the outlining process is to get you writing quickly in the right direction. So notice that we don't give you much time. Like, we're not going to give you much time to outline, and we're not going to teach you how to structure a chapter, okay? Why do you think this is? Because we want you to struggle a little with putting together your outline, and we want you to struggle while writing each chapter, which is kind of fucked up, isn't it? Doesn't it seem messed up? They were like, oh yeah, you guys should, like, it should be real hard and you should struggle. So I'm gonna tell the story. If you were in the nonfiction one, you know this story. Just pipe down for the people who weren't there. Let me tell you the story of why the butterfly died. So there's a grandpa and a little kid, like a 5-year-old, his grandson. They're walking along, taking a nature walk because they're on quarantine like everyone else. So they're going for a walk. And the grandson finds this little chrysalis on the ground, butterfly chrysalis. And he gets so excited. He said, Grandpa, I know you told me all about chrysalises, and I won't touch them, if they're hanging from the tree, like you said, but this is on the ground, and like it might get stepped on or run over or something. Could we maybe pick this up and take it back home and help the butterfly hatch, have a little heat lamp and set it all up? And the grandfather's like, okay, we can do that, but you got to make me one promise. And the grandkid's like, oh, of course, anything, Grandpa, I'll take care of it. And he's like, no, I know you'll do that. But the promise is very simple. Once the butterfly starts breaking out of the chrysalis, you can't help it. You've got to let it do everything on its own. And the kid's like, okay, Grandpa, no problem. I promise not to help the butterfly. I promise to leave him alone, and I'll just watch him. I was like, okay, cool. So they take it back, and they watch a bunch of YouTube videos, like everyone does now, to learn everything, and they get it all set up with like the right everything that it needs. And of course, he's checking all the time. He's so excited about the butterfly gonna hatch. And finally, after about 2 weeks, he starts to see it shake, and it starts to break open a little bit, and he's so excited because he's a 5-year-old kid, right? And he's just so overwhelmingly excited about this. He like sees like the butterfly's kind of stuck, and so he's just like, he can't help it. He cannot help, and he takes a little tweezers, and he's so careful. He pulls like a little piece of the chrysalis off, and then pulls another little piece off, and he opens. He's like, I'm not gonna do the whole thing. I'm just gonna help a little because the butterfly's it's stuck. I know it's got to be stuck, and so. Pulls a bunch of it off. Butterfly comes out of the chrysalis and lays there for a second, tries to flap its wings, but can't, and then dies. Which, pretty fucked up story. And the poor 5-year-old is crying. He's so upset. He runs, Grandpa, the butterfly died. I don't understand. And Grandpa comes, looks at it. He goes, Did you help it out? And he's crying like, yeah, I'm so sorry, Grandpa, but he was stuck, and I didn't know what to do, and I thought he would die if I didn't help him. And the Grandpa said, it's okay, I'm not mad at you, but this is why I told you not to help it. And he's like, what? I don't understand. What do you mean? He goes, well, the way a butterfly strengthens its wings is by breaking out of the chrysalis. And so it has to have the chrysalis to use to strengthen its wings so that it can fly. Without breaking the chrysalis, it can't develop that strength. By helping the butterfly out, you stopped it from flying and it died. And the kid, poor kid he's like, it's all right. He hugged him. Of course, he's like, it's going to be okay. There'll be other butterflies, but just understand. And then the little kid goes, what the fuck, dude? You couldn't have told me this before? No, I'm kidding. That would be funny though. That's what I would say. It's like, Grandpa, why didn't you just tell him so he understood why? But it wouldn't be a fable if he told him. But that's the point. We're here to help you with your struggle. I'm not here to prevent your struggle because it's not possible. To prevent the struggle is to stop the book from coming out. The struggle is not just part of the point. It is the point. All right. We cannot, uncovering your truth is hard. And to make it unhard means you don't do it. Got it? Okay. It's the point. The point is that it's hard. Now it shouldn't be, what should not happen is you don't know what to do. What we've laid out is absolutely clear instructions on exactly what to do. You always know what to do. It'll be hard though, which is a different thing. All right. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes right now. All right. I know that's a ridiculously short amount of time. I expect you to come back and do more outlining and more structuring of stories. No problem. So let's pause right now for questions. We got anything interesting, Emily?
We've got one question from Susan about, can the outline just be chronological? Yes, we covered that. Mm-hmm. And you also ask, it's currently just a bunch of dots that are not really connected. Should I be doing something else, or will the dots connect later?
They may never connect. You don't have to connect dots in a memoir. You can. So a really good example of this is, again, go read Tiffany Haddish's memoir, The Last Black Unicorn. It sold 1 million copies for a reason, and there are no dots there. Now, you can read it and you can see dots. Oh, I see this theme and that theme and that theme and that theme. They're all there. There's a bunch of themes, but Tiffany didn't want themes. Tiffany didn't want dot connection. Excuse me. That's not where she is or where she was at the time in her journey. She wanted to just tell her stories as honestly as possible, and she did. And they were great. And my God, man, you want to start crying, go into Audible, not Amazon as much, but Audible, and just start reading the reviews. And there'll be like dozens. You won't be able to get past 3 or 4 pages without seeing some review that's like, I'm 16-year-old black girl who's like, I had no idea that I could get out. I had no idea there was any option for me. It's like unbelievable, the reviews, because like Tiffany's like this big star in Hollywood, but she came from nothing, and she came from awful stuff, and all these people who are there now, who had no idea that like, oh wow, this big star like started where I did, how inspiring she is, right? And there were no dots connected in that book. So you can just have an outline that's just a bunch of dots, and then either you can connect them later or not connect them. Depends. Now, I will tell you, the dots can always be connected. They don't have to be though. Like my books, the dots were not connected in those books. Now, the next book I write, I'll start connecting some dots. I'll tell you, and here's a good rule of thumb. If you don't want to connect the dots, it's okay, but it means that connecting the dots would be too painful. Ask me how I know. Because connecting the dots was a bridge too far for me when I was writing my fratire stuff. And if connecting the dots is, you can't do it, then just write your stories. It's okay. Totally fine.
As a recovering overthinker too, I think there is huge value in deliberately not connecting the dots. Before I started writing my memoir, I obsessed over structuring an outline and all these chapters and what the meaning was going to be out of each story and how I was going to bring a reader through. It was all bullshit. It was all because I did not believe my story was meaningful enough without putting that kind of structure and that kind of craft on it. I thought that my memoir was going to be me displaying myself as a writer. It wasn't. It's not that at all.
That is, I could not say bravo enough. There are so many memoirs, and the vast majority are fucking terrible because they did what Emily was doing at the beginning, which she's not now. They thought the book was about displaying themselves as a writer. I gotta write that down. Yep. All right, next one.
This we've already covered a little. Is it possible that a memoir can tell the story of your appreciation for how people overcame obstacles and that enhanced your appreciation for their struggle and achievement? It's pointing the finger out again instead of pointing the finger in.
No.
Yeah.
No. Look, I've got some books in here that are like compendiums of like stories of other people that are really cool. There's one, it's called like Badasses from the Old West. Oh my God, man. Like do you know the most badass sheriff in the Old West? This is very appropriate to the world we're in right now. It'd be cool at any point, but it's even more cool now. The most badass sheriff in the Old West was a black man. His name was, I have to find the book. I can't remember. Like it's like Boss something or Baz something. He was the guy that they based the Lone Ranger off of, was actually a black man. He was a sheriff in a couple different places, killed like 15 people in the line of duty, right? Like, I don't think he was like, whatever. Never once was injured, arrested 3,000 people. Yes, Bass Reeves. Thank you, Krista Foster. Bass Reeves. He was a real person. This guy was amazing, right? I love books like that. It's not a memoir. Not a memoir. What you think about other people could be a good book, not a memoir. Period. Nothing else to say. Your memoir is about what you think and what you feel, and that's it. About yourself and your life. That's it. Next.
That's it. We have one more question about length, but you're going to talk about that later in writing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's talk about the writing plan. Okay, so now, like you get it. I'm writing it for myself. You know what you're writing about. You know why you're writing it. You've got a good plan to start in your outline. Honestly, I would outline for probably, if you can do it for an hour, then start. An hour might be all it takes. Do not outline for more than what do you want to say? What do you think? 4 hours? 3 hours?
Oh yeah. 4 hours is
4 hours, absolute max.
Yeah.
Of outlining.
Definitely not any more than that.
Okay.